All right, peace and blessings. Hopefully, everyone out there can hear me. RJ Mahdi here, and this is Exodus Radio. And this is actually going to be our last Exodus Radio live on video, so pretty much on our video platforms. We're going to be moving Exodus Radio to Clubhouse. And so today we're going to chop it up one last time face to face. We've got Sister Ya about to check in, Chief Foday coming online. We're going to talk to some other folks in the community. And one of the reasons why we wanted to do this on Clubhouse for here on out is to give you guys an opportunity to participate in these conversations. So that's something that's really important to us as we look to build collective development. It's always important to get the perspectives of the people, our brothers and sisters who are out there who have something to say and would like to chime in with valuable information. So we're going to be live today on both platforms. I'm actually on Clubhouse right now. I'm pinging a bunch of folks to the room if you guys know Clubhouse lingo. All right. So, yeah, if you guys are on Clubhouse, if you have the Clubhouse app, go ahead and follow me now. My screen name on Clubhouse is, I'm going to put it here. All right, so we've already started a room there. It's called Welcome Exodus Club. Exodus Radio. And so if you tune in there, you guys will be able to contribute to the conversation. We're really looking forward to having input from you folks at home or wherever you are in the world so that these discussions can become more inclusive. So today, again, it's going to be our last show here live on video on Exodus Radio. And we're going to just take it to the audio, but it's going to become something where we can all chime in. So stay tuned today as we have the conversation on both platforms. I'm actually on there right now as folks checking into the room. You guys, if you have an iPhone, and that's the only downside, guys. So Clubhouse is only available to those who have iPhones. So it's only usable on the iOS platform. In retrospect, it's a lot newer, more substantial platform. All right. So we've got some folks checking in. Golden Heart, I see you checking in from Las Vegas. Got my sister Jacqueline Shaw just actually joined the group here on Clubhouse. And so on Clubhouse, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm actually going to break it down to you. First of all, there's Sister Ya. What's going on, sis? Jacqueline, you can bring your hand up. Well. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. How's it going where you at over there in Ghana?
Oh, things are falling into place. I can't complain. It's a lot of work to do, but we're getting it done. So we had a very successful day, a very long and frustrating day yesterday at Ghana Immigration. I had a number of people coming, but we got through it. It was almost like that we were getting a runaround, like we were intentionally being frustrated. But because I just wouldn't go away and everything they said and every additional thing they said I would go and come back with it and go and come back with it until they processed it. So we got it done. Yeah. That's what's up. I'll be doing I'm getting with a brother. Yeah, because we're getting some intel about the cause of the frustration.
Right.
Well, I'll be doing a video on that, but we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that's going on everywhere. I mean, even right now with Sierra Leone just kicking out a whole new list of regulations for folks to be able to get citizenship in Sierra Leone. We got Foday actually just checked in on Clubhouse. If y'all aren't on Clubhouse, y'all need to go ahead and jump on there. I'm on both platforms right now. So for those of you who are listening in on Clubhouse, if you hear other voices other than mine, it's live over here on Exodus Radio Online. And so everybody else, you guys are listening to me on Clubhouse. Ebony just checked in on Clubhouse. She's definitely supporting the movement a lot. Member of the Basani family. So it looks like we got a Basani domination on Clubhouse so far, y'all. So if y'all not on Clubhouse yet, jump on there. Follow me at King RJ Mahdi. And the room is live right now. We're going to be taking even some calls from there because that's what Clubhouse is all about. All right, Clubhouse is a collective app where those of you who are listening in at any point, if you have something to chime in, you can simply raise your hand. We can bring you up from the listeners queue or into the queue, and then you can speak. You can share your thoughts, your input, your experiences, your concerns, etc., your solutions. And then it can, engage everybody with some different perspectives. And I've been on Clubhouse for the past couple months or few months here, and I've been a part of some very productive conversations there. And I think that anybody who uses it properly, like any network, you can get a lot of value out of it. But yeah, so we got Foday checking in. Foday, what's going on, brother? You can unmute your mic and speak through mine to the people.
I don't see him on the screen. Has he
Yeah,
been
no,
added?
he's on Clubhouse. That's what. So he this is Clubhouse, right? You
Okay.
see, you see there's Foday there in the top corner there. All right, so but all you have to do is
Yeah.
unmute your mic and then you can start talking. But this way, guys, we can start building on different platforms. Also, we want to make sure that everybody has some access to this information. At least a little bit.
Hey,
What's going on? That's Jacqueline? Jacqueline Shaw. What's happening?
yeah, lots and lots and lots. Too much going on, but in a good way. I just only got a very short while. I thought let me just quickly say hello, everybody who's on radio and others in the room here. Hey, Ebony as well. Everybody when it comes on. So just want to say hello to everybody. My solution, I guess, is looking at Africa from a trade and building perspective when it comes to working with the continent. I focus on the textile industry, and that's my background. I do fashion, so I focus on the textile industry, and the industry I know that is, it can bring in a lot of money. It's my career, it's my profession, but I also see opportunity. An industry worth like $2.5 trillion globally. So I think that Africa could tap into that, and I use my own platform, my experience to work with people across the world to enter the African market through doing fashion-related products, textile products, and selling that to the international market, and building with artisans, with manufacturers, with suppliers on the ground. So I'm all about making Africa and sourcing Africa, and I believe that there are a lot of more the amazing other things going on the continent, agriculture and technology, and just so many things happening. I can't even name it all, but it's a very exciting time. I'm just using my expertise and my small part of the internet to try to touch other people's lives and introduce this as an opportunity to them. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Jacqueline, founder of Africa Fashion Guide, and that is my platform. And we do sourcing and manufacturing for brands, retailers, and designers. That's kind of my little intro. But thank you.
Nice. That's what's up. So that's Jacqueline Shaw, everybody. This sister runs an amazing program where she's assisting folks in engaging different African textiles and fashion manufacturers around the continent. We've been following each other and collaborating, little by little for a while now. But this sister has been someone who's building heavily on Clubhouse, by the way. creating different groups and programs and discussions that allow people to engage each other on the basis of solutions. So I don't know if you guys could hear very well. Yeah, could you hear very well when she was speaking? You could? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Also, I want to just say that the textile industry, building up the textile industry in Africa is key, because I'm sick and tired of seeing everybody wearing secondhand clothes from Europe and
Right.
America and everything. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
you
It's too
know,
much.
it's too much. And then for Ghana, there's only a couple of made in Ghana print fabrics. The vast majority of it is produced in Holland or China or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you don't
Right.
know when you go to the market to buy the prints and buy the African prints, you're
They're
that
from the
print is not even
Netherlands.
produced in,
Or,
yeah,
yeah.
Netherlands, Holland, China. It's just really
Never get the China one. I don't care. I don't care. The China one is just terrible. So that version, I don't even know why
I don't
China got into the African textiles business
yeah, I
because
don't
they're
want
completely making a
I don't want
mockery of it.
any of them. I don't want any, I want something made in Africa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now
Right.
you can get like from the northern part, you can get like that woven one, but they can't really mass produce that in a way, because they just don't have the textile
We have some
industry
of
to
those here in
mass.
Senegal too. Yeah, we have some of those here in Senegal too. So we have the batik fabric, which is made here. We have the antique, which is another one that's made here. We also have one called mud cloth, which is made like here and I think in Mali. But again, like you say, many of those are not in a way that they can be mass produced yet. They should be soon. Maybe somebody like Jacqueline would be, the ones to make that happen, though, for sure. So that's also the basis behind the export development center that is that we're looking to build here is to be able to make these things in mass, and be supplying them to department stores around the world. It's really important that we take a stronghold in that industry because, like you said, number one, if we don't, then the rest of the world is throwing their trash clothes at Africa. That's really what's happening. You've got
Yeah,
problems here. I know East Africa is even passing laws to stop secondhand clothing from coming in. So several East African countries and many others are going to follow because what's happening is local producers of whatever they make, it doesn't even matter what they make, they can't compete. And a lot of the clothing that's coming in the secondhand clothing, whereas in the States you might go to Goodwill or Salvation Army and pay money for this secondhand clothing, it's getting sent here for free. And it's the trash. It's the stuff that Goodwill doesn't even want. It's the stuff that Salvation Army couldn't sell. And so that's the stuff that they dump on Africa in mass. We're talking whole boatloads of this stuff, dump it over here, right? And yeah, there are some people that appreciate it because it's a more inexpensive way to acquire clothing. But on the long run, the sustainability side is terrible for the African manufacturing industry, clothing industry, textiles industry. So we have to think of the long term, negatives behind these things when we engage in them.
absolutely. You can't drive anywhere around here without seeing shop after shop, shop after shop of them selling secondhand clothes from outside, and I don't
Right,
like it at all.
right, right,
Hmm.
right. Foday, you with us there, brother? I don't think
Yeah,
Foday
I
is.
don't know. I think Brother RJ told y'all that we're going to be taking the Exodus radio show to a clubhouse. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset because everybody doesn't have iPhone. In fact, I don't even have an iPhone. I refuse to go buy an iPhone. But you know what? My daughter has an iPhone. And so my daughter was like, well, Mom, just use mine for your clubhouse show.
We gotta make it work. We gotta make it work. I mean, that's just how I go, man. It's being resourceful. I
But I
like that
know,
your daughter kicked in the gear like that, man. She a real one.
but
She
I
a
really
real one.
do. I do feel, for people, our listeners, our supporters who are, looking forward to this show every week and looking to hear from us and hear what we're talking about. And now they don't because now they have Android, they're gonna not be
Yeah.
able to
Just a lot, a
participate.
lot, a lot of people are hitting me up already. I mean, we've been getting calls all day from folks who are disappointed about that. And I mean, sometimes we have to pivot around things and challenges, and it's one of those kind of sacrifices. But I think that when we look at the long run, it's more more sustainable. It's something that we can really keep you guys informed on the long run. And so just explore it if you can. Just like Sister Yah said, man, if you got somebody in the family who's got an iPhone in the household, chime in. We still want that information to get to you, but we want it to be there and be in the way that's best. So stay with us, guys. Exodus Radio
And thank you.
continues. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and maybe at some point we can try to come up with something to be accessible still, because I don't want to exclude people just because they don't have
Right.
an iPhone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is what I told RJ. That was my concern from the very, very beginning. What about our iPhone? I mean, our Android people. You know what I mean? So hopefully
Yeah.
we'll figure something out.
Hopefully, Clubhouse
And
will go ahead and hopefully Clubhouse will go ahead and just open up to Android users, and I predict that's going to happen pretty soon. I mean, similar to the way that when Facebook first came out, it was only available to people who went to, I think, Harvard or somebody at one of these schools, and then it opened up to like all Ivy League schools, and then eventually it was open to everyone. So I think Clubhouse is doing the same thing, just in terms of starting with what they see as perhaps the cream of the crop, and then just expanding to everybody. But essentially, what we want to do is to just show up on every platform. We really want to make an impact everywhere. And so, whereas we can't do all of that simultaneously, sometimes you have to do that in kind of chapters, right? So, I'll still have, for instance, I'll still have my Africans for Africans show on YouTube. I'm sure Sister Yah will still be on YouTube doing her different shows and lives and whatnot. And so, that information will still be shared, but I think, this structure will be best on another platform. But you guys chime in. Yes, Dale Swain asked, is it invitation only? It is invitation only.
Yeah.
So if you need an invitation, you have to have somebody who has a Clubhouse app to invite you, or you can click the link in the post where you're watching. Dale, I see you're watching on Facebook. In the post where you're watching, there should be a link right there in the post that can take you straight to it. So you don't need an invitation if you can just click that link in the post. So it's a couple different ways. They make it a little difficult, guys.
And part of the problem is just going to say part of the issue we've been having is that we've been having a lot of technical difficulties with StreamYard, in terms of people not being able to get on, not being able to keep a connection, delay. A brother interviewed me on, what was it, Sunday, and it was on StreamYard, and it was the absolute worst in terms of I kept getting booted off of the stream and having to go back in, and then there was a long delay between his comments and my comments. It was just horrible. You know what I mean? So
we've now had 3 shows interrupted here in just like the last, I don't know, month or so, where we were in the middle of broadcast and StreamYard just completely froze up and just went offline. And I'm like, you're in the middle, you're in the meat and potatoes of a conversation, you're building, everybody's listening, tuning in, and then this program just goes frozen. And that kind of sucks. So, I mean, we immediately just put our minds together and was like, let's try and see if we can move this to another platform that is, a little more stable. And, Clubhouse is definitely a stable platform. It's really strong. You can stay on there streaming for hours and hours and hours and hours. And so what we're thinking about doing is, some of you who are constant participants and viewers. We'll be making you guys moderators. So, we'll be, giving you guys the opportunity to run those rooms for a while. And just keep them open, keep the discussions going, keep the conversations going. And then, during our normal show times, we'll all jump in and throw in our, 2 cents. Chief Foday's with us. What's going on, brother?
Hey, greetings. How y'all doing?
Man,
brother.
How's everything?
So we shut it down now, huh? YouTube, we shutting it down.
YouTube is shutting it down.
Over the Clubhouse.
I mean, YouTube has a lot of, there's a lot of changes being made on YouTube. They're just taking different measures. YouTube is, Facebook is, all the regular platforms are kind of becoming really, they're enhancing a lot of their defenses against revolutions like the ones we are in the middle of. You know what I'm saying? So we got to diversify our platforms, just so that we can get to more people, reach out to more people, be more effective in communicating. So, y'all keep up with us. Foday got a delay over there. Y'all see that? You see?
Yeah.
Both of them got a delay.
Yep, it's a delay. It's a delay right now. It's a delay right now. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We try to improve quality. And what's funny, when we started using this platform, I think the first time we used it was Africa Day. Right?
And we should try to.
Right. Yeah. Cambone has a platform as well. If you guys know Dr. Obadeli Cambone, over in Ghana, he's a professor at the university there, but he's also got a website called bbtumi.com. And a BB2Me is pretty dope, man. You actually have classes you can sign up for on there. You can learn a bunch of different, languages. They've got tutoring. It's a really great platform. But there's also video. You can do live video chat rooms, and then you can do posted videos. But I'm not sure if you can do like live streaming like this. I think it's only like there are like chat rooms, like classrooms that you can create, kind of more like Zoom. But there's another alternative for those who are seeking alternative platforms. We do need alternative platforms, and we need to start exploring them together and collectively, right? Because these platforms only become valuable if we all are there. And so even just as we're seeing with Clubhouse, some people can't access it, so some people are cut off. So even every platform is going to have those little difficulties. So we should definitely ongoing or diversify.
A lot. The feedback that I've been getting from people, and I love Dr. Cambone, but people. What people are saying is they don't find it user friendly. Like it's kind of complicated to them. You know what I mean? To maneuver around the site. So I think that's why people have just not. Huh?
You mean inside of the Clubhouse app?
No, a BB2Me.
Oh, a BB2Me. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you can tell the platform is still being developed out. I'm sure they have, their challenges in web development. But I could see it definitely maybe in the future being something that could be a real asset, especially in times of not having these type of platforms available to us. So, we should put our support.
RJ, maybe we should at least we can help build it up by doing something over there periodically and telling people to meet us over there and doing something. Maybe not weekly, but maybe once a month or something to get people to start moving over that way. Yeah. Exactly. Because we do. I see Sister Goldenheart. Sister Goldenheart says she's tired of going to Facebook jail. And I am too, sister. I'm sick of going. That's what I was like.
Man, they all doing it. They're all doing it. I mean, if you say the wrong thing, they're turning off your channel. We know
censorship is too much. The censorship is too
Yeah.
much.
And you don't want to
And
build
you're
up
on.
all your content somewhere and then one day it's just gone, right? So at least Clubhouse is just a live app. Like if you're not in that room to get the information, oh well. But that at least makes you have to be there to get that information. So just for people who don't know, Clubhouse, your total social content is your voice. All right, so you talking, sharing your different perspectives on different topics, right? So initially, when you go on Clubhouse, there are tons of rooms. I'm gonna show you guys here. I don't know if you guys can see that good. All right, so there are tons of rooms. Why does it look like that? All right, when you scroll up, you can go into any one of those. This is terrible. Can y'all see that, or
Yeah,
does
you
it look
can't really
white?
see it. I think it's the light is too close
It's
to
the
the.
light.
You got to
Oh, okay,
back it
okay.
up. Yeah.
So there are rooms in which you can just go in different rooms, and pretty much discuss different topics. So when you first get on, your initial reaction or objective is just really listen. Get into some rooms, listen to different perspectives. There are a lot of experts on Clubhouse. A lot of people are there, in the tech fields. You'll find tech billionaires there. Elon Musk is there sharing information at times. You have everybody there. Oprah, a lot of impactful people are there, and they're sharing good information. And so even in the Pan African space, you find a lot of really collective groups of people who are building, discussing, business opportunities and investments. You have people there discussing social and economic, political issues. You have there people discussing reparations and, the whole nine yards. And so it gives an environment in which everybody kind of has a voice. So as you enter a room, all you have to do is raise your hand, which is pretty simple. And then whoever's moderating the group can then invite you up to speak. When you come up to speak, wait your turn. Obviously, respect is huge on this app. Pretty much every room you go in has a rule of, respect each other, respect each other's perspectives and opinions. And then, wait your turn. Go. Take turns and bring some value. So that's what we're going to definitely be, falling in line with for sure. Shout out
Yeah,
to everybody who is
a
in
lot of
the
people are saying that they're not
Clubhouse.
finding Exodus Radio on the Clubhouse.
Yes, it's not Exodus Radio. If you guys see, it's right on the screen there. So the Clubhouse room's name is Welcome Exodus Radio to CH. All right, or to Clubhouse. Okay. Alternatively, you can just follow me on Clubhouse at King RJ Mahdi, and you'll see that I'm in the room right now. So you'll see if you scroll down on my profile, it'll show you the rooms I'm in. Or you can actually just follow me and go back to your main hallway, and it'll show the room I'm in. But it's Welcome Exodus Radio to Clubhouse. All right, so we've got several people in the room. The homegirl Ebony, we've got TXDA. If any of you guys want to speak, you can definitely raise your hand. My man Aliun is in there. He checked in with us in Dakar not too long ago. So we're live on Exodus Radio. We're on YouTube right now. We're live on about 3 different Facebook pages. We're also live in Clubhouse. All right, y'all come on in the Clubhouse, get in the room, join the discussion. Let us know what you think about Clubhouse and the app. Are you using it? If you have an iPhone, and if you don't have an iPhone, are you planning to get one in order to use it, or at least take advantage of it? All right. Y'all keep us posted. Let us know. So I wanted to actually talk about this Sierra Leone citizenship change that just went on. But Chief Foday dropped out on us. Not sure if he's still here in the room in Clubhouse. Chief, if you're with us in there, you can chime in, okay? What do you think, y'all?
Well,
Trying
I
to pull
think
it up here.
let me. I'm trying to pull it back up. Let me see.
Right. Because, woo, what's happening right
Well,
now, guys, is important. Go ahead.
what I've been told by somebody, which I don't know how true it is that these African countries put out a call for us to come home, but in fact, they're not the infrastructure, they're not prepared for the influx of people to come in, right? And so because of that, they are kind of do things to kind of slow down the influx. You know what I'm saying? Um,
And not
I
necessarily even
saw the
just slow
list
down the
of
influx, but to at least process take care of the process better. Because that's really where we see the lacking at. Even just a few months ago, you guys were saying about how they're in Ghana, how the process just started getting long and lengthy. I think that's because number one, many of these administrations are somewhat understaffed for this kind of workload. They weren't anticipating that much work, right? Document filings and all these kind of things, so I think that's an uptick that they weren't prepared for. And then also just the forward thinking in infrastructural long term results of that inflow, right? So this is going to take a toll on some nations who have that burden. I think they're just now realizing that, and that's why a lot of these things were implemented, though.
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now so we can go through it. I don't know if you're able to put it on the screen. Are you? Let me see.
I can't put it on.
One of the first things that they require, they okay.
So,
One of the
guys, this is
first
the
things they require is
guidelines.
that you have to go through a certified.
Go
Are
ahead.
you able to put it on the screen or
I can't
no?
put it on the screen though, but
Okay,
I have it in
you
front
have
of
to
me.
go through a okay. That you must go through a certified local tour operator in Sierra Leone. And then they have a list of certified tour operators. So I guess the tour operators will be the ones who get you through the application process.
Right.
Okay, so they have
So
certified some people to
so that's the
handle this
first.
influx of people.
Right. Right. That's the first prerequisite is
Yeah,
that you
and so
have to
y'all
go
should
through a tour company.
yeah, and you need to know that the Gullah Redemption Mission that Chief Foday has over there, they are certified. They're one of the 27 certified companies that you can go through to obtain your citizenship in Sierra Leone. Then um, there's a letter of request. So you gotta type up a letter, and the letter should include your name and your passport information, your current address, email,
Now,
phone number. Well, that's simple.
before we
That's
get
not.
too far from step one, though, Foday, we're here going over these new regulations just rolled out by Sierra Leone on the citizenship thing. It's like in
Yeah.
step one, they pretty much said you got to go through Foday.
Yeah, yeah. Only if you salad. Only if you salad. Um, yeah, yeah. And you know what? You know what? We're coming back with asking for citizenship in countries that we've never been to, that we've never read the constitutions. We don't really know the people or the culture, but we're standing on our rights and saying, hey, what's up? Give me my citizenship. And for
Right.
Sierra Leone to say, okay, no problem, let's go. That is very honorable, first and foremost, especially if it's not a setup
Right.
later on, especially if it's genuine. You know, that's very admirable. But at the same time, they don't got a process for this. So the government is trying to figure out a process even as they're meeting us. And we know how we are. We are as diverse as
Right.
Africa. You can meet one person and judge the whole group by that one person very easily. We do it. It's very easy to do that.
That's right.
And it happens to us here as well. We get confused. Whereas most of us, we didn't grow up in the same cities, ain't the same generations, don't know each other outside of our commitment to Africa. We're comrades.
That's right.
You understand?
Yeah. Let
So
me.
most people don't have this mind state. They don't have it. Most of our people coming here, they don't have it. They're literally just doing the right thing by trying to reconnect. And there's really no orientation process. So what we've begun to do now is to host free game workshops where you donate $25 to our project and you get a workshop that you can't get anywhere else on earth right now. You get information. You get information, everything you need to know about the Sierra Leone Constitution, the Negro Clause, what it means to you, the different changes in the Constitution, whereas now the descendants of Sierra Leonean women have the right to citizenship as well. It wasn't like that up until 2006, but people don't know that.
Wow.
Because they didn't want foreign nationals to have babies with Sierra Leonean women and for them babies to get the Sierra Leonean citizenship, and then they use them babies to get power because you have Lebanese here, because you have other people here. And so they had a Negro clause that made you had to be the son of a Sierra Leonean man. And in 2006, they changed it
but
to
what
now,
if the mom is Lebanese? So that I don't understand. I'm confused. So the son of the son. Wait a minute. Let me be clear. I want to be clear. You telling me that a Lebanese woman or a Chinese woman or a white woman, her child by a Sierra Leone man is automatically a citizenship, but a black Sierra Leone woman who has a baby by a non-black man.
Not anymore, sis. Not anymore. You know I'm going to give you the colonial context.
I'm talking about up to 2006.
In 1961, Sierra Leone got their independence from Britain. When they got their independence, they didn't have a Negro clause. Liberia has had a Negro clause since 1847. And it was specifically to safeguard the rights of African people to their land and to rule themselves. That was specifically what it was for. So nobody could ever come and have a half-breed child that's not a part of the patriot. You know how it is, patrilineal. We're patrilineal. Right. You know? Yeah. And so the man's child would naturally have more rights in the typical system here. You understand? Because you follow the father's line, no matter the mother. You follow the father's line. It means that their fathers are Mende, and that's what they are. And so when we understand the culture and how we identify ourselves, you realize that a year after independence here in 1962, the government imposed, the Lebanese had been here, and the Lebanese had become very, very prominent and dominant in economics and in trade. So to block them and their descendants, and plus they also have a very nasty ordeal. They don't allow their daughters to marry black men, but they want the black woman. So when you understand that, then you understand why the Sierra Leonean man said, oh yeah, well check this out. If you have a child to one of my sisters, that child is not one of us. They put the system down on them. And they used the Negro clause so that you had to be of African descent, even to acquire nationality through naturalization. You can't even naturalize.
Based on maternity.
You have to be a Negro to naturalize here. Yes, and so in 2006, they stopped doing that with the women. The women in Sierra Leone now, their children, just like the men, could evenly get it. And then in 2018, they changed it again. So that now those outside of the country who have 2017, so now the Sierra Leone women outside of the country can now, their children can claim the citizenship. So it's been a process, and most people don't understand it. They're coming back for citizenship.
Right. I mean, that seems to be the case everywhere, though. I mean, we see that now being the case in Ghana. With
our free game workshop gives them the free game, so that they can understand what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, serious business.
I mean, you know what? Listen, I understand if they did it as a means of protecting themselves, because a lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I didn't say it. Chancellor Williams said it. Okay, Chancellor Williams. Have y'all read the book, The Destruction of African Civilization? And what Chancellor Williams told us that we had to watch out for the mulatto class. That was the class that would be sent in. That they would have these babies. They would come in and have these mixed race babies, and then they would train
And
them
that's why
up
the
to
colonizer
carry
did
on
that to us
in
on
place.
purpose too. The colonizer intentionally raped our bloodlines out of us. You have to understand that was not by chance. That was not just circumstance. Like the colonizers, our enslavers, intentionally raped our bloodlines out of us. They wanted to water us down. They wanted to tear us apart from our families on the basis of colorism. Even in slavery time, mulattoism was something that was used to divide us, right? If you had a lighter skin, you're in the house.
Yeah.
The darker skin, you're in the fields, you're treated like shit, right? That was intentional. They knew it would have that effect. They knew that the more they could water some of us down, it would pit all of us against each other, right? So, we have to resist falling into those same traps that they set for us, and resist that kind of colorism. The tribalism is the same thing. What we see now going on tribal, it's the same thing. These things are intentionally spun in order to drive division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to everybody that's tuning in on Clubhouse. It ain't many of y'all, but thanks for tuning in on Clubhouse. Y'all can raise your hand if y'all want to say anything. You will definitely be live across all of the Exodus radio platforms. Today is like our cross-section day. So we are live on my YouTube channel. We're also live on Black Kings and Queens Project Facebook page. If you're checking in, if you're watching on Black Kings and Queens, drop some fist for us right now in the comments. Also, everybody tuning in on Africa Day 2020 Facebook page. Folks tuning in on that Fly Girl. We've got about 4 different Facebook pages and also YouTube. And then those of you who are in the Clubhouse room as well. So, today's our cross-section day where we are phasing out our Exodus Radio YouTube days. All right. So we're still going to be bringing this kind of content and from this same crew, but on the Clubhouse app. Yes, it is limited only to iPhone users right now. Hopefully in the near future that will change. But for the time being, that's what we're going to be working with. So next week, same time, same crew, but in the Clubhouse app. So follow me on Clubhouse at King RJ Mahdi, and then you'll be able to see the room that we're in. It's called Welcome Exodus Radio to Clubhouse. All right. Shout out to also, I want to get, first of all, let's jump into Sister Ya. You had something to talk about place to live in Gambia. You want to bring folks up to speed real quick on that?
A place to live in Gambia?
In Ghana. I said Gambia.
Huh?
I'm so in Ghana. In Ghana.
Oh, are you talking about the land?
Right.
I'm like, what?
Gambia. What are you talking about? Put us up on game, sis.
What? Okay, are you talking about the land? What you talking about?
Right. The land.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am a agent. My company here, Ankama Premium Company Limited. We are an official agent for Eclamont Ventures, and they have acquired. Honestly, it's about almost 800 acres of land. We're working on the first 540 acres, and it's in a wonderful area called the Shy Hills. Yeah. And I don't know, some of y'all probably seen the commercial. RJ, do you have the commercial? Can you play it or no?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sophia Ankama, co-founder and vice president of Ankama Premium Company Limited. I'm also an official agent for Eclamont Ventures. Here we have 540 acres of virgin land for sale. 50 kilometers from where the new international airport is going to be. 10 minutes drive from the Shy Hills Resource Reserve.
My name is Mohammed Al Hassan, the CEO of Iklimat Ibn Hassan Ventures. This is a vast land, about 540 acres land. The measurement is 70 by 100, litigation free. We have pipe here, we have electricity. Everything here is intact. The road is very, very nice with a cost of 25,000 Ghana cedis. The lead land officer for Iklimat Ibn Hassan Ventures Limited, and we are here to actually demarcate the land into pieces of blocks. To be honest with you, the land is a very beautiful land, very flat.
I'm telling you guys, it's not going to be this price for very long because the land in this area, the value is rising up rapidly. So you want to come on in, get with me immediately so we can help you get your land. It's a wonderful asset for you to own here in Ghana. Thank you.
Yes,
Dope.
that is some land that's in the Shy Hills area. And the most important thing he said in that video that y'all need to hear is it's litigation free. So ain't nobody gonna come rolling up on you, talk about, going to court and all this. He has acquired the land. The land is registered in his name. And we've already started some building projects, as you can see, on the land. In fact, my construction company is right now building on the land for one of our clients who are in the United States. This sister was like, "Sister, y'all,
Wow.
me and my mom, we can't get out right now because of this COVID stuff, but I don't want to miss out and I don't want the price of the land." And she was like, "Let me send you this money." So
Hey.
she sent the money to me, and I went and got the money, got her land documents in her mom's name, and then she was like, "Okay, start putting my wall up." So we've
Right.
been over here working it for, yeah, man. We doing some things over here.
That's what's up. And it
I'm
looks
very
like good
excited.
land too. It looks really fertile and
Man,
green. I
it
like how it's
is.
flat. That's what's good. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Looks
telling you,
like
it was that somebody had a mango farm. That's part of it. That's been incorporated into it. So I told Hodge, I said, Hodge, please don't knock down all these damn mango trees. Leave some of these
oh
trees.
no, knock your trees
Yeah,
down. Hey, look, you
yeah,
know what I
man.
always wanted was just a yard with like all of those trees. I grew up as a kid. My perspective towards it used to always be, why do we have so many trees but none of them grow food? Like, why do we have big oak trees in our yard, big old, these giant trees, and then like, why do we have orange trees in our yard, or mango trees in our yard, or lemon trees in our yard? You know what I mean? Like, that would just make more sense, right?
Well, when
Uh,
I was a little girl, growing up in Mississippi, the trees that we had in our yard had food. My grandma we had a peach
okay.
tree. Me and my cousin used to stay picking peach, and stuff like that. So
Right.
we had food. Yeah, but I'm from the South, so but yeah, I mean that there's an okra farm that's still there. I just brought home a bag of okra from out there the other day. So
Dope.
I'm
Dope.
just saying it's very fertile land.
KT
Very
said,
fertile.
how much is 25,000 CDs?
Currently, the current exchange rate is 5.8. So that's going to be about $4,300 per plot. The plot sizes are 100 by 70, which is like a quarter of an acre. We had a brother from the States. He got four plots, and so that was an acre. Yeah.
That's
So two
legit.
plots is like half an acre.
Man,
Yeah.
you
So
guys take
anybody that's
advantage of that.
interested, just reach out to me, holler at me. I just was talking to some sisters from the States today. They were like, because he's raising the price of
Right.
the land in June. He's already said.
Yeah.
And this is what I need y'all to
All of the
understand.
land is doing that. All of the land is going up.
Yeah.
Like, these prices, if y'all think it's a game, it is not. Like, these prices are going up. Even here in Senegal and in Gambia, even some land that they just had in Gambia last year, we were selling it to people, I think $2,400, something like that. Now it's already at 5,000. So yeah,
You
it's
see,
going up.
it's happening all over. It's happening all over. And I had a conference call. There was a group in the States, and they were like, "Sister, yeah, we want to talk to you about the land." And so I invited the Hodge to come over to my house, and we sat down and we did a Zoom call with them so that they could ask any question. And also my husband was on the call as contractor if they had any questions about building and things like that. And these ladies went, and when they found out the price was going to be going up because they're not coming over here until September, they were like, oh shit. They were like, Sister, y'all, can we send you some, can we pay half the money now so we can get locked in at this price?
For real. You better get them in advance, people. Ain't a game. So somebody just said in the comments, I want 2 plots. Said, what's your info?
Okay.
Go to the website now.
Let me put my website up here. So
you want to write it in the comments or?
Screen. I'm gonna put it in there. Hold on.
Put?
It's and on there is my phone number too, so you can email me, or you see it in the private chat. RJ, you can.
No, the private chat. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, Uncle Group. I got you.
Yeah. So they wanted to lock in at the current price. So they wanted to go ahead and send some of the money now and then send some later so that it doesn't go up on them. And I understand he worked with them. He's a very good guy, very honest, down to earth guy. I wouldn't be working with him if he were not. And, he was like, okay, he's willing to work with people. But, if you're serious and everything, he'll work with you.
That's good. So, yeah, there goes the link, guys, on the screen. AnkomaGroupLLC.com. Y'all make sure to reach out to Sister Yah directly. Get linked in. Somebody said, where is that? What region did you say that was?
It's in the Accra region, okay, but it's close to going to the eastern region. It's like on the border, but it's still in Accra region. And it's over it's about, if you know where the Volta River is, it's about a 30-minute drive from the Volta River. And I'm gonna tell you why I love this land. I'm gonna tell you why. And even I was talking to my husband, well, we got to build a house over here too, right? Because it's about a 30 minutes drive from the Volta River, and there's all types of resorts and all type of, all along that area because the river is there. The Volta River is there. So that's in one direction. And then going back the other way, you're about 45 minutes or so from Tema, which is the biggest industrial city in Accra. So that's where the harbor is. That's where the port is. That's where all the cars and all the ships come in and all that. And there's beaches and everything there. So that's a pretty big major city here. So you're not far from that. Then you got the nature reserve. And when you're on your way driving over there, you can see the little baboons and stuff. If everybody saw them, they come out on the side of the road, and you can stop and feed them bananas and stuff, because this area, there's a big area of land over there that the government has set aside that nobody can build, nobody can do anything. It's reserved. It's a nature reserve. So you can go in there and see all type of indigenous animals and fauna.
I saw that in the video. They got the monkeys and everything out there. This is real Africa life, y'all. You guys got to get, it still trips me out, when I drive down, when you drive from like Cowlack into the Gambia, there's like whole 10-mile stretches of roads where you'll just see monkeys just running across the road, like regular, cats or something. It's crazy. Me in the car driving, a couple monkeys just skitter across the road. It's beautiful.
I be kind of nervous because especially when I see the little baby ones, and I be so nervous that they're gonna get hit, because I heard that sometimes they do get hit. You know what I mean? They do get hit.
They get hit.
Yeah, and and every time we're going down there, the driver be trying to, how you men are terrible. He be like, Sister Y'all. He be like, Sister Y'all finna hit one up. He gonna do the car. I be like, you gotta stop.
Don't hit the monkeys, Sister Y'all. Don't hit the monkeys.
But let me tell you, they wait, because people stop on the side of the road and like feed them bananas and fruits and stuff. Well, I was going this last time. I didn't have any damn bananas, so I was like, I got these cashew nuts. I'm finna go get out and feed them some cashews.
Monkeys either. They're gonna be.
Them was bad as hell. Monkeys could have rolled their eyes.
They tell us don't feed them. They tell us don't feed them, because when you feed them, they get hell for real. Even when you go down to an area here called Sally.
They was
Yeah,
not happy about the cashews. They wanted fruit. And so when I
man,
go
they'll
back, I'm
go
gonna
in
make
your
it up to them
car,
to bring.
they'll go in your pockets, they'll steal your phone, they'll snatch the hat off your head, take off running. Monkeys, you better watch out. It's crazy because they're not dangerous, like they won't attack you or hurt you or nothing. But they will definitely snatch your shit
Right,
and run. Shout
right,
out to everybody
right,
that's in
right.
the Exodus Radio Clubhouse group right now, or room right now, rather. If any of you guys want to come on and speak, raise your hand. For those who are listening on any of the other platforms, today we are broadcasting on Clubhouse as well as our normal platforms on YouTube and Facebook. But we are sliding the Exodus Radio crew over to the Clubhouse platform. All right, so if you're an iPhone user, make sure to go ahead and sign up for Clubhouse. You do need an invitation. If you need an invitation, I've got about 5 invitations that I can give out. All right, so go to my social media, King RJ Mahdi. Reach out to me. I have 5 invitations. So you can only join Clubhouse by invitation and only if you have an iPhone. All right, so if you have an iPhone, hit me up. I'll send you an invitation and join the room. We're going to be doing this more ongoing so we can keep this conversation going and so that we can bring some more diverse perspectives and opinions. We want to hear more from the people. We want you guys to tell us your experiences with the continent, connecting as a diaspora. We want to hear your experiences investing or your interests, your goals. We think that's very important to this conversation. For the past 4 months now, you guys have been just listening to us, but we want to listen to you guys as well. Shout out to Victoria's just checked in Clubhouse, and she's in Ghana as well. One of our repack consultants. Victoria's, you can raise your hand and I can actually bring you up on the stage if you like to speak. But yeah, guys, and as you come on Clubhouse, you don't have to speak. You can actually come in the room, sit, chill, listen. Anytime you want to chime into a conversation, you just raise your hand, and then the host or moderator will bring you up. So just sharing a little Clubhouse program for you guys is how it works. So get on it, try it out, and let's start having these conversations ongoing. Sister Yah, you guys coming down here to Senegal for the return in June? I'll put you on the spot with that one.
Well, brother, it depends. You ain't putting me on the spot. I'm gonna tell you, it depends on what these governments are requiring for me to be able to go move around.
Yeah,
Because I mean, that's the only thing that's holding me up. I'm gonna get serious here a minute because I don't know if y'all know this, but some shit is really going down in Israel.
That's right.
They are literally like restricting people from anything social, basically from coming out of their house, from doing anything if they refuse to take the vaccine. It's
right.
serious till the people are protesting and they're being censored. They're not letting it get out. You know what I mean? It's going down. And I'm gonna tell you something else. It's starting to happen in other places because I have a friend that lives in Kuwait. She's a teacher over there, but she's leaving. And the reason why she's leaving is because they're now making it mandatory that everybody be vaccinated. And if you are you can't, every employer has to make sure all of his employees are vaccinated. She's a teacher over there and she said she just did not renew. So even they're saying they're not going to renew work permits and things for people who refuse to be vaccinated.
These are the kind of things that I like to hear from the people. Like, what are you guys' plans for when these kind of mandates come down? That's what we want to hear. Is like, do you guys have a plan? Does anybody have a plan? If these things are mandated to where you can't travel, or if you can't go to school, you can't work, you can't, enter certain buildings, you can't, be out on the streets at night, whatever they say. What's the plan? And so that's what, these kind of conversations need to come to a collective head on. And some of those conversations are happening in different, environments, different groups, different circles. But we want to hear from the community that, supports us and that we communicate to on a regular basis as well. So, that's why we're opening up these kind of doors like Clubhouse so you guys can, speak your minds freely and contribute what can possibly be a solution to others. So definitely join the Clubhouse.
And so
Go ahead.
And so I wanted to say it depends, because if at that time they're telling me that I have to be vaccinated, I'm not getting vaccinated. They're not going to shoot me with nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know what the conditions are going to be for traveling in June. So that's why I can't say if I can travel or not, because I'm not going to allow them to infect me with anything. So that's what it is. And I'm really concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm concerned. I'm even concerned for my husband that's still in the States. You have to be tested now to go back into the States.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know that.
International travel now, period. Anywhere you're flying and out of any airport into any airport, you got to be tested.
Yeah. And I just think that's a preview, a cursor to them saying you need a vaccination certificate. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's what I think. So I could be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong, because my family members in the States, they're saying that they're not going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Right. My husband's saying he's not going to take it. But I can tell you one thing, my husband's sister is a nurse, and they told them at her job that if they didn't take it, they weren't going to be put on the schedule. And it puts people in a tough situation when you got a mortgage and you got car note and you got kids to feed and you got things going on, and they tell you can't come to work to take it. You know what I mean? And that happened in Connecticut. That's not in another country. That happened in Connecticut.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
If anybody in the Clubhouse chat has anything to add to this, what are you going to do if it becomes a mandate? Y'all chime in. I'll go ahead and bring you up to speak. But also in the comments, if you're tuning in on Facebook or YouTube or any of the networks, let us know in the comments. What are your plans, guys? What are you going to do? What do you feel like should be done? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a plan and you get caught, with your pants down, it's going to be, too late to even get a plan. And so we saw that last year with the pandemic. Nobody was prepared for global lockdown. We're talking 3 billion people in some 70 countries around the world locked down completely, right? Nobody predicted that. Nobody could have saw that coming, right? But had we been prepared, right, it wouldn't have hurt us so bad. Now here we are sitting, a lot of us, a whole year later, scraping for scraps and waiting for Joe Biden to throw them to us.
Yep.
Right? Look at how things turn. Look at how things turn in such a short period of time. We're not talking about 10 years. We're not talking about 5 years. We're talking about 12 months later. Right. Just 12 months ago, y'all were out at spring break, splurging money, spending your checks, right? Just 1 year ago, y'all were out chilling. It was St. Patrick's Day. Everybody was kicking it, right? Now here we are exactly 12 months later. The entire economy shut down. 500,000 people are dead. All kind of other crazy stuff that went on in the interim period, politically, socially, environmentally, right? Nobody predicted any of this. And so here you are with another opportunity, many of you being handed a check for, however much. Are you going to recycle the same efforts that you put in a year ago today? Right? Or are you going to invest that into some quick options for you and your family? Right? Are you going to invest in a plan B, an alternative solution, a way out of the rat race? Because the rat race, it exists, but it's not compulsory. Right? This is what I think we kind of get this mixed up, kind of, especially in America. Like we feel like, no, the rat race is compulsory. Like hell. Like the rat race is not compulsory. Right? You're in the rat race by choice. It may be hard to get out of it. It may be tough. There may be some growing pains it take to get out of it, but it's not compulsory. It's possible to actually break free of. But that takes strategic planning. That takes some goal setting. That takes some accountability, putting your back against the wall. That takes a little less spending. No, I'm not going to spend on my birthday this year. No, I'm not going to spend on Christmas this year. No, I'm not going to spend on 4th of July. No, I'm not going to spend on those weekend outings. I'm not going to go to the club. I'll sit this one out. I'm not going to get my hair done this month. I'll just keep my afro under my bonnet or my head wrap. Right? Yeah, it sucks for a few months, but next year you'll be thanking yourself if you're sitting somewhere in a much more comfortable situation. Next year, or 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will be thanking your lucky stars that, man, that one spring, summertime in 2021 that I sat out all of those parties and gatherings got me to this point in my life. I'd do it again if I had to. That's what I had to do. I'm not telling you nothing that I didn't do myself, guys. I didn't come here with no big stash. I didn't come here with no, extensive, supply of resources. I had to sell everything that I had that I thought I loved, right? These material things, all those TVs, electronics, and you got enough stuff in your house to pay off probably half your debt right now. You got enough stuff in your house, most of you, to pay off half of the debt that you owe that's holding you back. Some of y'all got more stuff in your house. Some of y'all got $20,000 in debt and $40,000, $50,000 in belongings that you just lugging around. Some of y'all more, some of y'all less. But what we're saying is if you actually put an action plan in place, you can reverse what you're going through. All right. So let's go ahead, sis.
I wanted to add this. I'm in a group on Facebook, and somebody said because some audio got out of Israel where people were saying what's going on over there. I did see a video from a white guy in Israel. They were complaining. They calling it the Green Book or something. It's a vaccine, something right. They pushing on the people that basically restricting them from movement if they refuse to take the vaccine. So right. We were in the group discussing it, and somebody said, "I'm so glad that I'm in Ghana, so I don't have to be forced to take the vaccine." So a couple things came to my mind, and I said to them, "Listen, no, we're not being forced now, but our African leaders, a lot of them tend to follow whatever the white people say, and that's just a fact. A lot of them do, Like right now, in Ghana, if you don't wear your mask, you can be arrested. You literally, wow. If you're out and about in the public, you can be arrested. And so I don't go anywhere without the mask, right? Because before we were kind of, you wear one if you want to, don't wear one, and nobody was. But
how it is here.
The president said no.
Yeah, they have instituted this thing where if you're driving and you're not wearing your mask, like if there are multiple people in the car, they'll fine you. I think it's like 4,000 francs, something. It was like $8. But they do have different mask mandates in like buildings and things like that as well. So certain government buildings, banks, malls, stuff like that. When you walk in, It is mandatory.
Right. And even now they have police officers posted up different places. They literally, you pull up, you roll down the one, they looking in the car to see who got their mask on and who don't. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So I said all that to say this. I feel like us in Africa, we have more time because of the lack of infrastructure. We have more time. We're in a better position to prepare ourselves, to create get out of the cities, get on your own land where you have your own source of water, own source of electricity, that thing, you know what I'm saying? When you be growing your own food, we have more time than people who are in the developed country where they tracking you everywhere you move. Everything. See, they're not tracking us like that over here.
Right.
Yeah. You can literally disappear.
Right.
Yeah, you could disappear. You could go to one of these villages and really.
And don't forget, guys, this is why we're building our communities here. And this is why, and I like to always take it back to this because I think sometimes we get away from the real purpose of things. A lot of times we get mixed up in, the story, the politics, the this, to that. But essentially, this is why we're building our own community. When you hear Sister Yah say they've got 600, 800 acres of land that they're building communities on for us, that's why, right? When you look at what we're doing here with our cable line, we've got 1,200 acres that we're building on for us. That's why. So that when we come back here, we have our own communities, our own situations that we actually control and dictate and have some say in, right? Because as long as you're in the Western imperial system, you're going to have to go by what they're saying, number one. Number two, you're going to be immediately blackballed, blacklisted, and knocked off every access point, in those structures, right? Because, let's be honest, there are places you can go in America and be out in the bush. You can move out to Montana or, places in Utah, and, they've got all kind of space, right? But if you do that, you're completely cut off, right? And even in some states, it's illegal to do that, right? If you want to just capture your own rainwater and not be on public water supply, they can literally come out and fine you and or arrest you just for not plugging up your house to the state's water supply, right? So we got to get away from
and if they do it to white people, and if they would do it to white people, they'll do it to you. And there are plenty of white people who have plenty of videos about how they have been arrested, harassed, and everything by their local municipality because they refuse to hook their house up to the grid.
We still live in countries where it is very normal and accessible to dig your own well and get fresh, clean groundwater straight to your neighborhood, community, or house in the event of the failure of a power grid, right? How many people in America even know how to or know somebody who knows how to dig a well? If the water, look at what happened in Texas just the other day, right? Look at what happened in Texas. We're talking about millions of people in the largest state in the country, right, with no power and no water. And even when the water did come back on, it was contaminated. They still couldn't drink it. You got millions of people, guys. How many of those people you think just went out and dug them a well? Right? Just think about it. Let's just be practical. Because sometimes we think like, this will never happen to us. We live in America. It's the greatest country in the world. Our infrastructure is dope. We'll never have to suffer these kind of consequences. And look, in the past year, America's had record wildfires, record hurricanes, record floodings, record snowstorms, right? That's enough to tell you that you should be prepared for the worst, first of all.
And what you should pay attention to is the response from the government when that happens. It's not very, it's not something to, it lacks something. I'm like, okay, so this is, you can jump up and be in Iraq and be over here on the other side of the world fucking with people in a matter of minutes,
seconds.
But you cannot, for your own citizens, get the electricity on.
Look, water they just released a new drone fighter jet that travels at twice the speed of sound.
You see?
Listen to me, people. They just released a $16 million drone, unmanned fighter jet, right? That flies at twice the speed of sound at Mach 2.1. But they can't get to places like New Orleans or Dallas in time to care enough about y'all asses. This is what we've been seeing for a long time. It's not new. It's not new. Those folks have a whole other list of priorities that don't include people that look like you and me.
It don't even include poor white people. Honestly, it doesn't.
Right. Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't
Right.
include them either. Yeah.
This is what we up against. So we gotta retreat from those environments and build our own. I think a lot of us are afraid of that build our own. That's when people they hear that and they're like, man, you mean tell me I gotta build some shit? I gotta actually roll my sleeves up? And that don't always mean you gotta be the one to actually dig the dirt and build it yourself, but we do have to build these things from
Yeah.
within, administratively, right? Legally, right?
Yeah.
Financially. And you guys have all those skills. You guys have the skills in financing and legal and paralegal. You guys have the skills in medical and education. You guys have the skills in retail and warehousing, et cetera, et cetera.
Accounting, medical,
Right.
teachers. We got everything.
But you rather go use those
Engineers.
skills at some white-owned company, giving your hard-earned and learned intellectual time, property, and rights to the same institutions that take them billions and wipe their tail with it, right in your face, right in your face. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. This is that point in history where it's really a turning point. It's a turning point to the point where it's like we really, you know, they show that meme with the two roads that go different directions, right? And you got this road over here, and it's like the whole crowd is going that way. That's the road most popular travel. And then there's like one or very few people who take that road. We better be those people because the road that everybody else is on, y'all don't want to know what's coming next. I'm telling y'all.
I'm
For real.
not very optimistic about what things are going to be looking like in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm not. I'm really not, because if y'all know anything about China, if you follow China, then you can know what's coming to America, okay? Because China controls their citizens, like every aspect of their freaking lives, every aspect. And we've talked about this before. With that digital currency now, you can't go anywhere in China and actually use cash, paper money. They don't take it. You got to use your phone. China
That's right.
tracks their people. They track everything. And now America's getting ready to do, they're phasing out with physical currency and they're going to digital. They've already created the digital dollar. It exists.
And don't you guys already have this
And
real ID?
they're going to
thing as
phase
well?
it out because
Yeah,
the real
yeah.
ID. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You
That's-
can't
that's-
even travel they postponed it. They postponed the deadline last year. It was supposed to be October 2020 was the deadline. If you didn't have that real ID, you would not be able to even fly internationally. Okay.
Man.
So nationally, you couldn't fly within the United States. So everybody had a time frame to get the real ID. This is just a precursor to what's coming. They're going to track your every move, and when that digital currency come out, you're gonna see what I'm saying. And then just think about it. That's when they can basically cut you off. They can literally cut you off from getting money, from receiving anything.
Right. Especially everybody. And this is particularly for everybody who's on any kind of government assistance. I want to make that specifically clear. This is particularly to anybody who's on any kind of government. If you collect food stamps, if you collect unemployment, if you live in Section 8, if you have subsidized housing, if you're on any of these kind of government programs, even what's the one for the elderly? Remind me, Social Security, right?
SSI.
Right. In order for you to even apply for these things, this is going to be necessary. And so what they're telling you is, okay, maybe we can't force you to put this in your arm, but we can make your life hell if you don't. And so that is the next phase that we're coming up on. And, what a lot of people are actually seeing right now is that if you have it, right? Like, so if you already have had your shots and whatnot, so now they're trying to do this campaign. I watch the U.S. news. I try stay up on it because I want to see what is the propaganda that they're shooting. But they have this, whole, oh, I'm free, tear the mask off. We're having 4th of July with the family this year, right? So they're kicking this whole thing.
Some people are fall for it.
It's real.
People are fall for it.
A lot of people gonna fall for it though, and I just pray that it is what they say it is. We all we can do is pray for some of our people because a lot of us not going to understand. A lot of us are not going to get the message. A lot of us are not going to be able to pivot in the way that's necessary in order to not go in that direction, right? And so, that's where a lot of us are going to really just fall in line as we always have. But we got to continue to ask ourselves, are we still the type of people to just fall in line with whatever we're told to do? Or are we the type of people who are going to start actually creating our own systems and environments? There's no other reason. There's no reason
RJ.
not to.
RJ, you see how they are censoring on the major platforms. If you say anything contrary to what the message that they want to go out, anything against the vaccine, if you say anything contrary to what they deem is appropriate information to put out, how they just cut you off. You see that? Right. And I want people to say, that's what I'm talking about. And I saw an article where they were talking about linking your social media posts to your social credit score. You see what I'm saying? So this is how the same shit they're doing in China. This is what I'm telling you.
Wait.
Yes, they're talking about. I'm gonna find the article. I posted it. They're talking about. There was a suggestion made that your social media posts should affect your credit, your credit.
What?
Did anybody else see that? I'm gonna find.
So people who have high social media engagement will have better credit. Is that what you're saying?
Or what you say on social media. This is the thing I'm telling you. This is the exact same thing they do in China. China has a social credit, and if you do
somebody
anything,
else just said that in the comments.
Yeah, that's what they do in China. And somebody, I think it was a government official, I'm gonna try to find the article, suggested that we do something similar here without, you know how people have their credit score, which is basically social credit. It's still social credit. But yeah, it's saying that they should create some kind of way to link your post, your social media post, to your credit score.
Wow. Yeah. That's wild.
This is not some conspiracy stuff that we're thinking we're talking about could happen in the future. This is what they are already putting in place, is what I'm saying. It's happening. You understand what I'm saying? Yes.
Right now. So, somebody says right now, we definitely need to be more self-sustained communities. Taking any kind of money that aren't from within makes you susceptible, spell check, to their rules. At any time they can make or break you. That is true. And so that's why we are backing things like the Lumi currency. For those who aren't, on the Lumi yet, this goes right to what the brother is saying. We need to go ahead and break free from those currencies and those financial institutions, because that is the last straw. And even for those of us who have left the continent and gotten here left over there and gotten here to the continent, even a lot of us are having to battle with that from here, right? The financial institutions, right? Having to use their banks, use their currencies, play in their markets, and play by their rules. And so now we have this thing called the Lumi currency, which is out of the Kampong Maroons, a sovereign territory in Jamaica. And this currency is not only giving a stimulus of free money, $100 in Lumi currency to members of the diaspora every month for the next 3 years. So not only are they doing that, they're also using the Lumi currency to pay down portions of Africa's debt, right? So this is a currency that's out of a sovereign black territory, with a central bank, with a minister of finance, with all of the accompanying rights to be a real currency. We're not talking about a crypto agent, guys. We're talking about a digital currency that is from a real fiat currency. And so now it is global, and you can use this currency very easily on what's called the Swifin platform or the Swifin application. And this application allows you to accept Lumi in transfers for trade, also to be able to convert it into other currencies, so you can convert it directly from Lumi into USD, put it in your bank account, etc. This is really the best thing that we have right now for getting rid of those systems. And so I invite everybody to try that out. Because if we don't break free, at any time they can snap their fingers and say, all right, Cash App, PayPal, Stripe, et cetera, Zelle, all these things, they're all closed down. Now what?
Yeah.
How are you going to accept money for your business? How are you going to, and everybody, the first thing people say, oh, we'll just barter. Okay, great. What if the person is in another country or another state or distant from you? Or, you know what I mean? We still need a currency that we can use. So, we can't complain about not having these things when we're also not putting our resources and support behind the ones that actually exist.
Right. Yeah. It's spelled Lumi, Lumi, Unity. Unity or else as how is it spelled? Lumi, Lumi.
Right. Yes, the Lumi currency. If you go on Google and search Lumi currency Eco 6, there is a web page there on the Eco 6 website that explains everything in detail. I can't think of the actual URL. I want to say it's eco-6.com/Lumi-currency. But in any event, definitely something worth looking into. It's free to sign up for it, and they're giving you $100 a month. What do you have to lose? 5 minutes, 10 minutes that it takes to enroll in it and put your information in? Come on, guys, let's be serious. Let's go ahead and get involved.
Yeah, and also, RJ, I would like if you would hit on how the State of the Africa Diaspora and the African Kingdom Federation are also speaking out against our people taking these vaccines.
Yeah, so I mean, they're actually one of the most vocal organizations and collective organizations that I've seen on this whole thing. And so they have a number of initiatives right now on the ground, developing laboratories for testing and these types of things. And this is the thing, the vaccine is here already. All right, so these things are being developed, and these organizations are creating a structure right now that can dictate and say how Africa's medicinal supply and vaccines are rolled out in the future. But if that's going to have too much impact on the rollout that's happening today, we don't know. But Senegal has definitely received millions of doses already. I know Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, a bunch of other countries have. They're already vaccinating the elderly here. So yeah, for those of you who want to know, is the vaccine coming to Africa? It's here, guys. It's been here for weeks, actually.
It's here. And this is the crazy part. The AstraZeneca, I think that's the name of the one that Ghana got 600,000 doses for free, from what I understand. Now, this is the thing that happened. I don't know.
And now they got banned in Europe.
Free. That's what I'm saying. And European countries have halted using that very same vaccine because they say there's evidence that it causes blood clotting. But you have accepted for free 600,000 doses to inject your own people with. I'm like, sometimes I really I don't understand what's wrong with our people. That's why I really respect Magufuli in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, listen, you have to use your common sense. When has these people ever wanted anything good for you? Ever in the history of white people?
And
You
even just
understand?
thinking of,
Since they
even just
Trump,
thinking objectively, like for the president of a country, your responsibility is to your people in your country. That's your responsibility. And I think sometimes what a lot of more passive so-called leaders have to get over is taking their allegiance to people outside of their country heavier than the one they have to the people in their country. So, for instance, being more in allegiance to a France or England or whoever is telling you what to do rather than what your people in your country actually want. And a lot of times we understand that these things are actually in good process. So I want to make that clear also, guys. It's not always a setup, right? It's not always somebody being taken advantage of. We do know there are fair deals. We do know there are at times beneficial relationships and mutual agreements. But for those who are being taken advantage of, I think a lot of times it boils down to being more loyal to others outside than we are to the people within our own communities. And that's even in the Black American communities as well, right? We see a lot of people in our Black American communities who have those outside allegiances, and then they allow those outside allegiances to send them back into our communities with the false info, with the propaganda, with the message that somebody else wanted to send in the agenda, right? So that's what we see a lot with even Black politicians, right? So they've gotten to this high level of education, they've gotten up into government, they've made it into Congress or whatever, wherever they're sitting at, and so now those white people that they work for now in those chambers will send them back into the Black community touting whatever agenda those folks wanted, right? And so this is happening everywhere. This is not exclusive to Africa, guys, but we got to be aware of those kind of people and how we can outstep them, sidestep them, pivot away from them and their agendas.
Yeah. I see Unity or L said that she's been sending. I don't know if that's if male or female. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Been sending money to my mom in Jamaica for years from Canada. One day I sent her money and they told her she could not collect it. No reason, no explanation, nothing. Had to find another way.
Yeah, we get that all the time. We
It's
get that
not
here.
just you. It happens.
We get
It
that here in
happens a
Senegal.
lot. It happens a lot.
We've
Yeah, it
literally
happens
had
a lot.
people
I know.
send as little as $1,500 through, PayPal has this thing called Zoom or XOOM. Real simple, supposed to be a really simple program, but if you send anything more than $200 or $300, right, they automatically flag it and throw it away. Nope, you can't accept it. These kind of things been happening for years, y'all. This is not new. This is how they keep Africa down. And then they point at Africa and say, "Oh, look, it's a shithole. Look, it's undeveloped. Look, you can't survive there. That place is crappy. It's not trustworthy. Scam. This, that." But no, it's not a scam. It's the fact that the European-owned or American-owned institutions are blackballing these countries, right? Blackballing them from simple resources, and then even going as far as to incriminate them for trying to use alternative options sometime. And so this has created the narrative of Africa being a bad place to do business or too corrupt to invest, etc. We got to see through that kind of stuff.
I'm telling you, I work for a company and just trying to get major deals done and send money internationally. They always they say there's too much scam. They try to say why you can't send the money, why you can't receive the money, why you can't send the money to Africa. They really have a system put in place to keep money from coming into the continent of Africa. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
Well, my husband, we're building our house. My husband, he has to send money. He has to send large sums of money over here, to do the house at a time.
Right.
And they literally would not send the money. My husband had to go in there, take his tax returns, W-2s, and all this stuff to show where he got the money from, to be who he's sending it to, how long, you know what I mean? Ask all type of questions. And then I know other people, same thing. And at the end of the day, they haven't done it to my husband yet, but I'm just waiting for them to tell him he can't send anymore because of the sums of money that he sends, because we're building. A
lot of those things will do that.
But I know several people who've been told, even after they bring all of their information. Who, you know, they'll question you, oh, do you know that person? How long you been knowing that person? You know, blah blah,
Yeah,
where
they
you
do
send
that
the
here
money
too.
for. Even after you do all of that, you know what they'll say?
Western
Oh, come pick
Union,
your money back, baby. We're not sending it.
MoneyGram,
We're not sending it.
Zoom,
Yeah,
all of them. They all trash.
yeah,
They're all trash. I'm gonna just be honest with
yeah.
y'all. And you know, this really even puts a lot of people like us in bad positions because you're here and you want to do good business. You want to be able to service people's needs, but then at times you face challenges midway through a project, right? You're halfway through some and now you're blocked from bringing in funds to finish it. Or you can't even turn funds around and send them. These things are so set up. You know, we had to go extraordinary lengths here in Senegal to build the kind of credibility with banks to even allow them to, or for them to even allow us to accept these kind of payments for people to invest or to build or buy land. So, you know, just be careful, everybody. If you come here and you want to do those kind of development projects, make sure you either link in with people like us who have the new acquired resources to assist, or you do a lot of due diligence into number one, where you're going and what kind of banking laws and systems they have, and then also where you're going and how does it participate or communicate with the banks and systems that you have already, right? So if you have PayPal or et cetera, and you're running an online store and you want to keep doing that in Africa, you better check with your account, check with your processor, check with your bank and see, hey, look, I'm moving to Tanzania. Is this going to be a problem? Right? I'm moving to Ghana. Are y'all friendly with Ghana? Right? I'm moving to Senegal. Am I going to be able to take money out of my account? Check these things in advance, guys, because you'll be surprised how many blockages they do put in place. But there are ways around them. It's not impossible, but it can be, you know, a bit troublesome at times. I want to go ahead and share a video real quick, guys. I know you guys are looking forward to coming up or coming to the return, which is going to be in June. So New World, who is the organizers of the return this year around, are going to be or just dropped their commercial for the return. So y'all check this out. It's pretty deep. Take a look.
It's time to remember the greatest civilization of our past. It's time for us to heal from the trauma of our journey. It's time for us to stand up and reclaim our birthright. It's time to liberate our mind and our hearts. It's time to reconnect the pieces of power. It's time to fly and soar to new limits. It's time to walk the roads of our fathers. It's time for us to sing in the tongues of our mother. It's time to unify the family. It's time for us to return.
All right, guys. So that's the return. Yeah. Y'all come on home. 2021. We're gonna, try and do this whole collective meetup again. And so I gotta give a big shout out to the folks over at New World because after last year's, Africa Day cancellation and COVID and everything, we had to pivot and focus on other more intentional goals, things like our Alkebalon City project, things like our Exodus activities, etc. So the Africa Day wasn't going to be in our cards again this year. And so our partners in New World, who we already work together with through the Alkebalon Development Group and who have built a restaurant here in Senegal called Dream Restaurant. They've also got a media company here, nice studios, some other pretty cool businesses. But they decided to step up to the plate and say, hey, look, this year, we'll put together the collective event. You guys just focus on getting the city going, and we'll take the brunt of this work. And so that's what they're doing, and they're doing a great job. I got to give a shout out to Chantel Gilbert. She's one of the coordinators there. This girl is on point. She's from Atlanta. And she's here on the soil right now, like working. I mean, if y'all y'all think it's a game. Y'all think our people can't come over here and still get our respectable hustle on. But it's happening, and every day we're looking at people actually coming here and doing amazing things. So shout out also to Andre, his whole film team. I hear some of them are down in Belize filming right now, and others of them are traveling. Look, get outside, guys. There's so much going on outside of America that once you get outside of that fishbowl, you ain't gonna want to go back in, because you're gonna see that you can do everything that you're doing right now in America, probably on a larger scale somewhere else in the world, many other places in the world, right? So, you guys go ahead and take advantage of them passports while you got the chance.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of passports, make sure you have one. Make sure all your everybody in your house got one.
Right.
All my kids have passports, even the ones that are still in the States. All my grandchildren, I have 3 grandchildren, all of them have passports. And before I left, I made sure my mother got hers. So, because if I have to get my mama out, I'm already ready. I already told her, you got to get on down. I'm ready. Just say the word. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, look,
yeah,
for real. Kate says she's convinced that all of this is about because of the descendants of slavery coming home. That's very plausible. That is a very plausible explanation.
That was my initial thought after the year return. The year return was big all over the world. I mean, you even had the black entertainers
the world.
going.
Shocked the world.
And it was all and it was all over the world. All of these famous black people going to Africa and telling them how much they love it, and talking about coming over here to start businesses and build houses and do things. And then a couple months, COVID. Got to shut it down. Can't nobody go nowhere. Can't nobody try.
Like immediately, I mean, we're talking about coming off of. We're literally talking about coming off of the largest and most productive year for black people in the diaspora in over 400 years, guys. You come off of that year, and less than 3 months into the next year, we're going into a global lockdown. Can't nobody move around no more.
Yeah, shut it down. Can't nobody move. Yeah.
Ghana took millions of us in
it's very specific.
Throughout 2019. You feel me?
There are people who, let me tell you, there are people here who came for the year return and they haven't left. They still here. A lot. Yeah. I was just at an older sister house and went to meet her. I went all the way to Timber to meet this sister. And she said, I came for the year return. I just said I wasn't going to go back. She's still here. And she ain't the only one.
Crazy. Yep. You see this guy, y'all got to pay attention. But, just try to be ahead of the game. I mean, that's really the best we can do at this point. I mean, it's not really, a situation where we can fix the world, right? We might not be in a place where we can just change everything, fix everything. But what you can do is take advantage of the time that you do have to put yourself and your family in a better position. Even if this thing happens globally, which it likely is going to be a global thing. It's not probably something that's going to just stick to the U.S. But I do believe that, and it's been proven obviously over this past year, that the worst of it is going to be in the U.S., right? So that's what we see already, right? The worst of it is going to be there. And then at the same time, we have a better chance of stepping outside of its effects when we are outside of the U.S. All right, so that's just my opinion on it. That's just my perspective, just being objective. I've lived in at
Yeah,
least
I mean,
eight different major U.S. cities, and I know how the
brother,
environment
and
is.
even if you're not able to come to Africa, I mean, there are look at.
Other
Have you
places,
heard anything about anybody in Panama? Any people dying and dropping dead in Panama? I haven't heard anything about Panama,
right?
or
Matter of fact, there's
Belize,
this guy at
or
Yata. What's his name? Oh man, the brother down in Ecuador. He's got this big sustainable farm and eco village in Ecuador. Man, I can't think of his name. It's like Yada, I think. Yada.
yeah,
You heard of this
that's what I'm
guy?
saying. There are other options. That's Costa Rica. I haven't heard anything happening in Costa Rica. I haven't heard anything happening in Panama. I haven't heard about black people dropping dead in any of those
Belize.
places. You understand
Belize
what
is
I'm saying?
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Even
Belize.
the
That's what I'm saying.
UNIA has a chapter in Belize. It's one of its
Yeah.
most active international chapters. The Universal Negro Improvement Association has an operation down there, and Belize is right in Central America. That's not even that
A
far. I
lot of
mean,
black
hop, skip, and a
and
jump.
a lot and they say about a sister moving down to Mexico. A lot of black people are moving to Mexico.
Right.
And a lot of white people too. A lot of white people
Right.
too. A lot of people are moving
Hey.
to Mexico from the United States. Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. The cost of living down there is significantly cheaper. Your money goes so much further. You know what I mean? It's so listen, I'm saying if you can't find a way to make it to Africa, just check out some other options. There are other
Check the
options.
options. Yeah. Where I wouldn't necessarily suggest trying, this is just on my maybe don't try it list, are any of the small islands. 'Cause we're hearing from people down there, so we even have members of our Exodus Club who I consult, who live on some of the islands, St. Lucia, Barbados, Costa Rica, some of these smaller islands, and they're having a lot of difficulty there, mostly with accessing goods that have to be brought in. When you're on an island, everything's imported. And
Yeah.
so if flight travel and ports and travel and all these things are restricted, that also restricts a lot of the goods those places get. And the goods that they do get are extremely inflated in price.
Expensive.
Right. So
I
they are having
experienced
a
that.
hard time with that.
I experienced that firsthand living in the U.S. Virgin Islands as part of the United States. But I'm
Right.
telling you, you live in on one of the islands in the U.S. Virgin Island. It's almost the indigenous people can't afford to live there. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right. It's turned
Seriously,
into a tourist haven.
it's very, very, very expensive, man. My grocery bill was damn near $1,000 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
This sister
yeah,
just told me the other day, she said a gallon of milk is $10. I said, what?
telling y'all, it ain't that cereal, that milk, the eggs, and everything because they import everything. They import everything, so it's busting you across the head to live over there.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
I would suggest getting somewhere that is a larger landmass space, but has good coastal areas. All right. So this is just a little bit of game for folks who are looking for international places to get away to. Larger landmass space, access to coastal areas. Parts of Mexico are even great for that. Like we said, parts of South America. Um, Definitely anywhere in Africa, well, maybe not anywhere, depending on who you are or what you expect. But the west coast of Africa for sure. I even see a lot of new development going on the east coast though. Tanzania,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, these folks they're actually coming up. So even look into the eastern coast of Africa, guys.
yeah. What is this? I see. It's Tayeri. Said it's getting worse in the U.S. AMX Bank is starting to not let people withdraw money from bank accounts. I sure would love to hear more about that. Ishtayeri, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Can you give us some more information? I need to know what you're talking about.
We need answers. we need answers.
Yeah, I need answers. What do you mean they not letting folks take money out of their bank accounts? Please type some more. I need to know what's going on. I mean, that's not a bank that I bank with, but I'm concerned.
For real.
Because I do have money over there in the banks. So I need to know what's going on.
Man, y'all got to be clear with these answers now, because I mean, for real though, this is really stuff that's happening every day. I mean, even like when we talk about what happened with Nigeria closing down crypto accounts. There are also a lot of regulations now being imposed on, obviously travel and all of these different things. So as these things change, you guys make sure to drop us that information so that we can stay abreast and so that we can keep the people abreast. All right. So that's why, another reason why we're switching over to this Clubhouse platform, because these are the kind of conversations that, obviously we have something to offer you guys, with what we know, but you guys have a lot to offer us as well with what you know. And so we want to definitely hear from you guys more often. So make sure y'all get on Clubhouse. Follow me on Clubhouse at King RJ Mahdi. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen. That's the best way to find the room. So in Clubhouse, the way it happens is you have rooms that you can open, any day. You can just jump in and open a room. I think once you've reached a certain threshold of followers and whatnot. But in order to get a club, you have to be approved. You have to go through an approval process. So we've already applied for that approval process, but it has an indefinite expectation of time. So we don't know how long that'll take. But in the meantime, we're going to be joining in a club with the sister who was on a little while ago. Sister Jacqueline has a club on Clubhouse already. And so her club is already having tons of followers and members and activities. It's called the Diaspora Networking Room. I'm sorry, that's actually the room. Let me see, that's not the club name. So it's called Diaspora Networking is the name of the club. Okay, so that's one of the clubs that we'll be hosting rooms in. So if you join on Clubhouse right now, look for the Diaspora Networking Club, hosted by Jacqueline Shaw, or you can just find me at King RJ Mahdi. You can just search me in the search. It's worth it to point out that also on Clubhouse, guys, it is a huge space for building, sharing information, creating collaborative discussions. The platform allows for over 5,000 people to be in one room. At times, big people get on and they max out rooms. I know we had Elon Musk on there one night, and there was like 3 or 4 rooms maxed out just waiting for him to come in and speak. But essentially, you guys who also have a something to say, something to bring to the table, can jump in those rooms and share that information as well. Tell us about your businesses, about your skills, about your experiences, because all of those things matter to our collective development.
Yeah, Sister Ife said that she's from St. Croix, which is where I lived and was Assistant Attorney General. She said she went home in September 2020, and it's very, very expensive. She said she still preferred to the U.S., but her plans are to repatriate to Ghana. Let me tell you, in 2019, I was actually contacted by one of the administrators over there at the AG's office, and they asked me to please consider to come back to be the chief of the criminal division when I come back. Now, I'm just saying, the money is great. The money was like bam, but at that, I would have been taxed hard. I would have been hit hard in my taxes. And then when I was looking at like the cost of living and how much, to rent a place, and I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
They're gonna pay me good, but it's gonna go right back out, just to live there. So I was like, no, I appreciate it. I thank you, but no, I'm not. I'm not. I
What's
don't
this
want to
about
like.
Michael Foley missing?
No, he's not missing. He's in the hospital. He had went to the hospital, but I just saw a video of him.
Somebody say he surfaced.
Somebody, yeah, somebody just said he's back.
Oh, okay.
I think the opposition was trying to say that he was in a coma with COVID-19, trying to make him look bad because he's been against the COVID vaccine. You know what I
Oh
mean, and all this stuff. And
man,
I didn't believe
yeah.
any of that anyway. I was like, because there was no evidence, there was no proof. It was just the opposition leader was out there trying to make him look bad and whatever. So, but as far as I know, he's fine. I just saw a video of him walking, waving, and going to boarding his plane. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Come on,
But
man.
yeah,
Come on now. The propaganda is strong, man. Y'all got to be careful, man.
yeah,
The agenda be out here on some serious business.
yeah.
That's why I tell you, I like to watch the Western news just so that I could call out the propaganda. Like, it's funny. It's more entertaining if you watch the news from a purely fictional standpoint. That's when it's really entertaining. I'm serious. That's when it's really entertaining. Like, I watch the news like it's Law and Order, or like it's you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because these people got so much agenda that they want to put on you. At times it's laughable. So, we definitely got to at least stay up on that, because what that does tell us is what to expect. Whatever they're preparing for you, whatever they're promoting to you on the news tonight, trust and believe is something that they're going to open up or force on you in the very near future. Everything that's implemented right now out of Western society was first tested, sampled, and sensitized through media. Everything. Everything that we're comfortable with in our American
And
culture.
particularly their movie.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
their movie.
The movies, the news, the
Yeah,
music,
watch
all
their
of it. It's
movie.
all
I'm
embedded.
50 years old. I'm 50. I keep telling people. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I've been watching sci-fi since I was a little. That's my favorite genre, and I can tell y'all just about everything that I started watching back in the 70s and 80s that were, like this out of the world, this can never happen, sci-fi. It's happening.
Right.
It's been
It's happening.
created. It's reality. Everything that they put out there in the media,
Anything they
I
put out
remember
is
you
really in
never would
works.
have
It's
thought
really
you
in the
would have been.
works.
Now it has come off of the screen and it's in reality. You understand what I'm
And,
saying?
and, and
Even to
actually,
the
and
point,
actually, it's the
I
other
just
way
read an
around.
article where they were talking about they have developed a physical model.
It's the other way around, because what happens is,
Uh-huh.
let me tell you how they do this, right? So let's say I come out with a really revolutionary new, mind chip, whatever it is, right? When that thing is in its beta mode and they're testing and they're sampling it, those same science and tech companies, those same government institutions, those same billionaires go to Hollywood and pay Hollywood to put it in front of the people and to get a reaction, right? And that reaction that they're looking for is, number one, how would you react to that thing, but also how sensitized you can become to it, how desensitized, right? Because once you see something in a movie and it becomes sort of realistic, right? Next time when they pitch it to you in real life, you're like, oh, I kind of saw how that worked out, right?
Yeah.
So these things this is literally market research 101 in the US. These big companies, pharmaceutical companies, weapons companies, all types of companies, they go straight to Hollywood, pay them to put these things in the media, to put them in front of your face just to get the idea waved around, while they're behind the scenes actually creating it for real. And you're thinking that is just it's just fiction.
Sci-fi.
You look at Back to the
Yeah.
Future. You look at Back to the Future. Just about every crazy futuristic invention in that movie is real today.
That's what I'm
From the
saying.
Nike
That's my
shoes he
point.
was
Now
wearing.
just watch. Go
Right.
back and watch the movies. I remember
Mhm.
when the cell phone was just something on in the
Right.
movies.
I
It
think
was
one of the
just
first things they
I
had in that movie was the screen with like FaceTime, right? And at
yeah,
that time in the
yeah,
'80s, FaceTime was like
yeah,
what? Looking at somebody on the
yeah,
screen. Look at what we're
yeah.
doing right now. We're in two different countries.
Yep, it's true. I'm talking about everything. I'm telling you, when I think about my childhood, I'm like, all this stuff I saw on TV, and now they just posted an article. I shared it on my page where they were talking about they've created a physical model for warp speed, where you
Wow.
can literally, yes, yes,
Wow.
they've created a physical model. They said for warp speed to be able to travel just that fast, to another whatever,
Right.
and that's straight out of Star Trek. Did you see
Damn.
where they trying to build a hotel up in space, a space
Mm.
hotel where people can just pay, take a trip, go up there and
Yeah,
be in
yeah, I
hotel.
saw that. It's like a ring. I saw that. Whew.
What
They
was
said
that
the thing is
movie? What was that movie? Bruce,
really, you know
what
what
was that
that
movie?
really.
Bruce Willis was.
No, but you know
Huh?
what they got that out of? That comes from a Netflix series out right now called The 100. And the
Mm-mm.
100 is about a exactly identical ring-shaped space station out of Earth, and they put it there initially for vacation and for space science or something. But there was a nuclear war on Earth, and so they took, I guess, 100 people, 1,000 people from the population of the Earth, and moved them to that space station while the Earth went through nuclear winter, right? So that listen, guys, all of this stuff is already out in Hollywood. You go on Netflix right now, watch the show The 100.
If you go back, Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, that
Right,
movie they were in a hotel in
right,
space.
right,
But
right,
guess
right,
what? Did
right.
you see where they just said they're sending 350 million sperms and eggs to store on the moon in case of some catastrophic event on Earth that they have
What?
humanity? Yes. So I said to myself, these people are not just putting these things on the moon for no reason. They are either planning something or they know something that the rest of us don't
And
know.
this
You
also
want to
explains why Trump started this whole Space Force military. Because if they're about to put all of that investment in space on the moon and on Mars, now they got to have military to defend all of that. So that
Elon Musk,
explains perfectly well why they
Elon
did
Musk.
that.
Yeah, and this transhumanism, they want to put nanotechnology into people's brains or take your memories when you die and put it into a robot so that you can still stay alive. All this. And I'm asking myself, what the hell are these people? These people planning something, and we're just oblivious. We just run around here, and I get so frustrated. I know that we are loving people, and we love to have fun and dance and sing. But when I see little black children, African children, with quoting Bible scripture and all this stuff, but I'm looking at all these other races of kids that are doing STEM and robotics and AI and tech, and I'm like, what? This,
And that's
you know
why we
what I
got to
mean?
reverse. That's why we got to reverse this brain drain that's going on in Africa, because these are literally the people who are building these tech infrastructures, right? When you listen to things and they say Elon or they say Bill Gates or they say these different billionaires, those guys didn't do shit, to be honest. Really, what they did was they kept their eye on Africa. And when that little Kenyan boy came out with that handmade remote control, or when that little Nigerian boy came out with that, invention of I think it's one guy had the thing where you could piss in the bucket and it'll make electricity or something crazy, right? You see these kind of things on social media, and you're like, oh, that's adorable. While you were saying it's adorable, some representative of SpaceX or Microsoft or whoever is flying into Africa, snatching that little boy and taking him back to their headquarters in Silicon Valley. And they're going to pay that guy a decent salary. And yes, it's probably more than he would have ever made in that village that they just came and got him out of. But no, it's not a drop in the bucket to what that boy could have made for himself or for his country or his community or his family in the long run if he used that skill in Africa. And so when they sit you down at that desk in Silicon Valley and pay you $120,000 a year to just sit down and give you all of their intellectual property, right? You just made Elon an extra 10 or 20 billion. You just made Gates an extra 10 or 20 billion, right? And they just threw you a couple $100,000 and told you, good boy, right? So we got to reverse that brain drain if we want the intellectual value of our people to count to the development of our continent.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. Looks like we're at the end of Exodus Radio for today. We are still on Clubhouse, and I'll be on Clubhouse for a little while longer after this YouTube and Facebook broadcast ends. So if you guys want to continue the conversation with myself and my comrades, join us on Clubhouse, all right? Make sure you hit us up. If you need an invitation, whichever platform you're watching on, go ahead and send us a message or drop us a comment or send us your email so that we can get you a invitation. But in any event, if you're on Clubhouse, jump on there and holler at me. I'll be on for about another hour or so. I'm looking to, chop it up with the people. Y'all hit us up on there and let us know what you're thinking about these topics that we're talking about. Let us know what are your intentions, goals, mission when it comes to the African continent and connecting. And, let's plug in and make these things actually materialize into solutions so that we can walk more than we talk. How about that?
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Visit us online, madeinaafricaproject.com. If you'd like to join the Exodus for ongoing hands-on assistance from consultants like myself and Sister Ya, all right? And we'll be more than happy to get you guys assisted, all right? Stay blessed, everybody. We love you out there in YouTube and Facebook world. If you're on Clubhouse with me, I see we still got some folks in the room. We're about to chop it up, all right? Y'all take care now. Come home.
All right.